What is up, guys? Pup T from Life, Liberty, and the Homestead. And on this video, we're going to talk about the 3 guns that you need for homesteading, plus 1 bonus. Let's get this video started. Woo! Alright guys, before we start this video, I want to say thank you again to all the subscribers. As of 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, we have 359 subscribers, and I greatly appreciate it. We're inching closer to that 1,000, and I hope we can get there by January. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing right over here. Hit that paw print. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. We love you for it. And hey guys, if you want to leave a comment, please do. You know, if you see the old Black Yeti out and that's what made you subscribe, you know, there's a couple people. Ty Knuckles, that's what he put on the comment of the last video. I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate you guys leaving comments saying you saw the truck and that's why you subscribed. I hope going forward you enjoy the content. You know, give me a thumbs up if you really enjoy the content. And if you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. It lets me know what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. In the comments, I love them. I do right now read every single comment, and I respond to every single comment because I like to try to give back to you, the viewer. So without further ado, let's get into talking about these guns. Don't be a monster. When it comes to homesteading, you can look at it in a few different ways. One way is it's just an individual, a group of individuals, a family, whatever it is, that wants to live off their own land, grow their own fruits, grow their own vegetables, grow their own beef, pork, chicken, turkey, whatever it'll be for their meat. And then maybe they have some crops, you know, in their garden, and they want to live off of what they produce. Another way you can look at homesteaders is somewhat as preppers, but I don't want to put a homesteader in a group with preppers. And nothing against preppers, it's just the prepper mentality is more about surviving after something happens, to where homesteaders, we're preppers, but we're prepping for our next meal. We are always looking at the next day, the next week, the next month, and the next year. When we go to buy seed, when we go to get livestock, poultry, whatever it is, as homesteaders, we're preparing for that, you know, next season or whatnot. We also have property to protect, livestock to protect, our poultry to protect, our gardens to protect, whatever that may be, and ourselves, right? Our property ourselves. So with that, one of the ways that you can ensure your own security and ensure that your livestock continue to prosper on your land and they're not being taken out by predators, or that your garden is not being taken out by rabbits, squirrels, whatever. One of those ways is buy firearms, guns, right? So I'm going to show you the 3 guns that I recommend every homesteader to have. And honestly, I recommend these 3 to anybody, and I'll explain why. So the first gun that I'm going to talk about is going to be your handgun. Okay, this is a 43X made by Glock. It's a single stack 9mm, and I choose 9mm based off of it being a NATO standardized caliber. Now, does that mean that I'm worried about the Russians jumping into America and, you know, all these other NATO countries that come over here and they'll have 9mm plentiful and stuff like that? No. I choose it because most people, most individuals who conceal carry or purchase a handgun generally go with a 9mm. Now, I used to carry a 40 all the time, and the only reason I carried a 40 is I like the number. It had nothing to do with, well, it's more stopping power than a 9mm, you know, 40 cal guys are idiots or anything like that. I like the number 40, so that's why I would always purchase a 40 cal. So, but in today's world, I strongly recommend somebody having a 9mm. So while you're on the Homestead, I would carry all the time up until you go to bed. And the reason being is if you always have your pistol on your side, it's not something that you're going to leave laying around. One, I know people worry about kids getting a hold of guns and stuff like that. There's a twofold thing there, right? One, you teach your kids the proper safety measures of any type of gun. And the second is if it's always on you, I mean, it's not going to be laying around for anybody to grab a hold of. So I have my pistol on me 95% of the day. I would say there's, you know, only 2 times a day that I don't have my pistol on me, and that's when I'm in the shower and when I go to bed, you know. But I mean, it's still by my side when I go to bed. So I mean, I still know where it's at. But I don't have small kids that live in the house with me either. So that's what I do. Whatever you choose to do, understand, you know, it's your world. I'm just living in it, right? The pistol is key because when you're on your homestead and you're walking around your property, you know, 2 things is, one, protection of yourself. Well, 3 things. One's the protection of yourself, protection of your livestock, and the third being protection of your property. So if you're out walking your property and you come across trespassers, whether they know they were trespassing or not, you don't know them, they don't know you. So it's always wise to have an equal opportunity advisor, right? That being your pistol on your side. So if anything does happen to occur, you can at least defend yourself. And also it can be a deterrent for when people come onto your property and they see you carrying, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, hey, apologize for being on property, didn't realize it, you know, yada yada yada, and they leave. Like I said, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You know, it's kind of the same thing. When you're walking around your property, it's smart to have a pistol on you. Protection of yourself. Not only, like I was talking about trespassers just there, which is really protection of your property, but you could be walking along and coyote come, you know, close to you. You think it's going to charge you, bobcat, whatever it is. You know, so you want to have protection for yourself. Now you can open carry or you can conceal carry. It's totally up to you, whichever way you want to do it. You know, if you conceal carry when you're out and about, I mean, I don't see why there isn't any reason that you conceal carry while you're on your property. Now, you may wear different clothes when you're doing work, so you might just throw on, you know, an outside the waistband holster and throw your pistol in there while you're on your homestead. You know, I do it every once in a while. Just kind of depends on how I feel. Second thing will be protection of your livestock. So say you're out and about and you notice inside your chicken coop is a fox, is a skunk. I wouldn't shoot a skunk. But a skunk, you know, possum, raccoon, whatever it happens to be, if it's in your chicken coop and you come across it, you know, you could use it, you know, to take out that animal. And the third thing is protection of yourself, and that includes your family unit, anybody that's on your homestead with you. You know, if somebody was trying to gain access into your house uninvited, you know, you have it to protect yourself and your family. That's why I recommend, if there was any gun that you were going to have and you were only going to have one gun on your property, I would go with a pistol. You can use it for many different scenarios, plus you can conceal carry it, so it's not as noticeable. So the second gun I would recommend for your homestead would be some sort of shotgun, right? So this is a Benelli M2 semi-auto 12 gauge shotgun. The reason I would recommend a shotgun as well, and I don't, the brand to me don't matter. If it's a pump or semi-auto, doesn't matter to me. The only great thing I would say for a semi-auto versus a pump is if you have somebody that's really new to shotguns, it's similar to a pistol, to where they can squeeze the trigger, round goes off, they don't have to do anything else, release the trigger, squeeze it, you know, and a shotgun shell goes off. So that's one reason I would go with a semi-auto. But if you have, you know, a pump shotgun, Mossberg 500, whatever it happens to be, you know, great shotguns, just make sure you're teaching whoever's going to utilize it the functionality of it, right? So with your shotgun, it's similar to the pistol, with the only caveat would be it's not something that I would carry, right? So I would use it specifically for task. One, I'd use it for hunting, for wild game. I would use it to protect my livestock if need be, but I would not just carry it around, right? I mean, 26-inch shotgun, even with a sling, walking around your property is no fun. If you're a hunter, you know, I mean, one of the worst parts about, you know, turkey hunting is you got to carry that shotgun, and if you're scooting and moving, now you got this, you know, this weight that you're carrying around, you know, over your shoulder, whatever it is, getting caught on tree limbs and wait-a-minute vines and stuff like that. So, but I would recommend either a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge. You know, 20 gauge has a softer recoil. So a 12 gauge, some people find it a little abusive on the shoulder. It also depends on what shot you got in there. You know, birdshot to me doesn't kick, I mean, hardly any. But you put a turkey load in that thing, yeah, you're gonna know once you squeeze that trigger on that thing. So that's why I would get a shotgun. You can take wild game with it. If you need to protect your livestock, again, fox, coyote, bobcat, on your property, utilizing the shotgun to take that animal out, it's great to have. Also, you can use it for home defense. Make sure you have something like birdshot in there. A shotgun close enough will tear through anybody, right? But from a good distance away, and it being birdshot, it might not kill the individual, but they're going to remember it for a very long time. So shotgun, that's the number 2 gun that I recommend to have on any homestead. The third gun to have on any homestead will be some type of hunting rifle. Okay, so this is my Remington 700 chambered in .308. Yes, I've gotten fancy. I got the Magpul furniture on it. you know, Nikon scope, Bushmaster 2, all that stuff. And the reason I would get a rifle is protection of your livestock and hunting. Can you use it to protect your property? You could. You know, absolutely you could. Any gun could be used to protect your property. But the main purpose of that would be to protect your livestock and for hunting. So, again, as homesteaders, we like to, for lack of better terms, make our own food, produce our own food. That's why we grow gardens. That's why we have poultry. That's why we have pigs, and you know, that's why we have chickens, all that type of stuff. And having a rifle in .308, once again, it's going to be a caliber that's readily available. You can almost go into any gun store and they have .308 ammo. Same with the 12 gauge. 12 gauge and 20 gauge ammo, it's plentiful. Now, as far as the 12 gauge goes, you might not have the exact shot you want, but if you're using it just to protect your livestock, your property, or yourself, it really doesn't matter what you have in there. I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, but if all that's available is, you know, a turkey load, well, grab that turkey load. With the .308, again, it's one of those rounds that is generally readily available. You can go into almost any gun store and they'll have .308 plentiful. Again, there may be different types and different loads and stuff like that. So depending on what you're wanting to utilize it for, you may look for that specific caliber. If you're just trying to protect your livestock, does it really matter what the load of that .308 is? I would say it doesn't. Now, with all three of these, and the fourth one that I'll talk about is you need to be proficient or semi-proficient with your firearm, your tool, right? So that means going to a range. That means knowing what your shot pattern is. That's sighting in your rifle, all that type of stuff. You know, you don't want to go deer hunting with a rifle that you haven't shot in over a year and you think your zero is the same as what it was a year ago. It could very well be, but so cheaper scopes, you know, bumping them will take it off the zero that you had. Sometimes just sitting in the bag, it could move it just a little bit. You know, it could get loose on your mount, whatever the case may be. So it's always good to go out and re-zero your rifle. It's always good to go out, shoot your shotgun, see where your pattern is, you know, see what distances that you can utilize that shotgun with that ammo. So in talking about this is load specific to that caliber. So like with Winchester, it's got a .308, they got a deer specific round. So if you have that, you need to get out onto a range somewhere, put up a zero target, and see where you're hitting at 100 yards, and so on and so forth, right? Make sure your zero's still on, or to zero it. With a shotgun, you know, whichever load that you have, so if it's like turkey shot, bird shot, double up buck, whatever it is, whichever load that you're going to be utilizing in your shotgun, you need to take it out to the range and see where it hits at 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 50 yards, however far out you plan on being, and then also seeing if it's capable, you know, at 50 yards, 60 yards, is the shot that I have in there capable of hitting the target and having so many inside of that target. With your 9mm or any type of handgun caliber ammo, you want to do the same thing. You know, if you're carrying full metal jacket at whatever grain level, or hollow point at whatever grain level, you need to go out and you need to shoot it. That way you know where you're hitting and if there's any difference between Full Metal Jacket, your hollow points, and stuff like that. All right, so here's the bonus, and I recommend this. A lot of people recommend this particular gun, this firearm, this tool. You know, preppers, homesteaders, you name it. I mean, it's almost America's first gun as a child, and that's a 22. So, you know, the Ruger 1022 is really popular. You can find them just about anywhere that you go. And one, it's a fairly light gun, right? I mean, you could almost carry it all the time. Wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it's light enough to where you can carry it around quite a bit. And it being 22 caliber, I mean, again, you could go into almost any ammo shop, or excuse me, you can almost go into any gun shop and find 22 ammo. Now, I know a few years back, 22 ammo was like the holy grail. You couldn't find it anywhere. Can that happen? Sure. I mean, again, if you look at right now the ammo that we have available to us, it's not as much as what we would have had a year ago. It is what it is. And the reason I would recommend a 22 is, one, you can protect your livestock. So if there's a raccoon, possum, whatever that comes in to your chicken coop, whatever, you can use your 22 to go ahead and eliminate that creature. You can also use it on trap lines. If you trap and say you're trapping raccoons, you can utilize it to dispatch that raccoon. You can use it to hunt squirrels, rabbits, stuff like that. And here's the best part about a 22, and it's going to lead into this next thing that I'm going to talk about. Great thing about 22 is the ammo is fairly inexpensive, right? You're talking pennies on the dollar for one round. So let's just say it's 10 cents a round, and your 9mm, you know, one round of that, let's say, is a quarter. You know, that's a huge difference with the amount of 22 ammo that you could buy versus the 9mm, right? And then your shotgun shells, you know, I mean, there's some shotgun shells out there that I want to say the tungsten rounds are almost like $3, $4, $5, $6 a shell. You know, I mean, you can buy 6 and it costs you $36. I mean, it, you know, so what do you want to buy, right? Again, 10 cents for a 22 versus, you know, $6 for a shotgun shell. And yes, I know prices vary, so I'm not saying these prices are set in stone and this is exactly what you're going to pay. What I'm trying to explain to you is, you know, where the 22 really fits on a homestead. You know, with your 308, you know, you're looking at probably anywhere between, you know, $75 to $2 a round. And yes, if you load your own, it's cheaper. I get it. Do I load my own? No. I got enough things going on. I don't have time to load my own ammo. So I have to purchase my ammo. So having 22 ammo at, you know, again, at 10 cents a piece versus a shotgun shell at $6 a piece or $1 a piece, whatever, that's a huge difference. And that's why I would recommend a 22. If you wanted to replace the shotgun or the rifle with a 22, that's what I would do. If only in your budget is 2 guns, or let's say you have $800 to spend, that's your budget for guns. Well, I mean, you can get a Glock or another pistol brand, doesn't really matter, and you could get a 22 and come under $800, to where my Remington 700, I think it was on sale for like $550. Now in the configuration it's in now, no, I mean, it's a $800-900 gun. Shotgun, it just really depends on what you get. I mean, you can Mossberg 500 for like 250 bucks or whatever. So it's just all on what you feel comfortable with and what you would like to have on your homestead. Alright guys, so that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun making it. And guys, I really do appreciate you stopping by, watching this video. If you could, one last time, go over there, hit that subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, give us some wild comments. Y'all are crazy. I love you, we love you, and we'll see you on the next video.